everybody, and welcome to Week 9 edition of Kids College Game Day. I'm Jonathan Ware.
And I'm Jack Moore.
We were just walking around school one day. We are 7th graders, so we were walking around school one day and we were thinking, hey, what if we did a kids edition of College Game Day? I mean, there's nothing like it on YouTube, so we thought we might try it out. So, no hate, please. We're just kids. And make sure after this video you put in the comments below just things you think we should do, and opinions on our show, kind of.
And we don't have to do Game of the Weeks that the real College Game Day is doing. You can suggest our College Game Day.
Yeah, that's one thing. You can suggest games and we'll put them on here. We might put them on here.
For this week, we are using College Game Day's game, Ole Miss and LSU in Baton Rouge.
Ole Miss and LSU, yes. That's it.
Yep.
That's at 6:30 today. 7:30 Eastern, right? 7:30 Eastern?
Yes, 7:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Central. I don't know about West. I don't know.
Yeah. So, we just, if you want us to do a certain game, just put it in the comments below. We'll gladly do that.
And we're gonna go over a lot of the games.
We're gonna go over most of the big games this week. If we don't do
if we don't do your game, put it in the comment section below, and we'll try to make sure we do it next week
or the week after. Whatever. We don't care about you. No, I'm just kidding. So first, I want to look at our top 5. At number 1, we have Mississippi State. Number 2, we have Florida State University, FSU. Number 3, we have Ole Miss. Number 4, we got Alabama. And number 5, we have Auburn.
And just to narrow it down, 4 of the top 5 are in the SEC. Narrow it down even more, 4 of the top 5 in the SEC West. Narrow it down even more, 4 of the top 5 are only in 2 states. Mississippi State and Ole Miss, Mississippi, Auburn, Alabama,
Alabama.
And
so we got the 2 biggest football states in the nation.
And also at the end of the year, those 2 teams will go against each other. Like Ole Miss and Mississippi State for the Egg Bowl, and Alabama and Auburn for the Iron Bowl, which will both be really great games.
They will, because Auburn has been dominating this year. They did lose that one game to Mississippi State.
And Alabama lost Ole Miss.
So. That did not ruin their chances.
And it's the same thing with Alabama. Just because they lost to Ole Miss, doesn't mean they're permanently excluded from the playoff picture. But if they lose again, that
can ruin their chances.
Yes.
And depending on who they lose to.
Right. If they lose to someone like
Mississippi State, if they're still number 1, if Mississippi State is still number 1 when we lose to them, that can result in a drop, but not an intense one.
And it's the same thing with Ole Miss and Auburn. Like they go against each other next week, that's going to be a huge game for both teams. Like if Ole Miss wins against LSU tonight, then they will be 8-0. If Auburn wins, are they on a bye week?
Auburn?
Yeah.
Auburn is playing South Carolina this week.
Okay, so if Auburn wins against South Carolina, then that will be a huge game and definitely cause some eruption in the playoff picture.
Okay, so our first segment we're going to do, and also remember to leave in the comments what kind of fun segments you think we should do. Out of our top 10 teams, we're going to look at who has the best likely chance of losing and dropping. If number 8, Michigan State, loses to Michigan today, Michigan State will be out of the playoff picture completely.
You can't forget.
And maybe out of the top 10.
Yeah, you can't forget about TCU. They're going up against Texas Tech.
TCU is, I don't know what place they're at right now?
TCU is number 10. And if Texas Tech wins, that's going to be huge for their program. But TCU will, a lot of experts say that they think that TCU can win out the rest of their season. I'm not sure. If you look at their schedule, they still got people like Kansas State and all that.
TCU has been really good on their offensive side lately. They've been scoring really well.
Defense is pretty good.
All high-scoring games. They've been doing really well for the past couple weeks.
Right. And Baylor,
Baylor, resulting in that loss
to
West Virginia, that put them out of playoff picture.
It didn't necessarily, because that's only one loss. And West Virginia is doing really good. So, it doesn't exclude them completely, but...
Not completely, but...
Still a little chance that they might not be in the playoffs.
Anyway, also, if number 3 Ole Miss loses to number 24 LSU, that will not take them out of top 10 picture completely, but it could take them out of playoff picture. That all depends on if they beat Mississippi State at the end of this year.
Or Auburn.
If they're both still undefeated. But if... we'll talk about that Ole Miss LSU game at the very end of this show because obviously it is the College Game Day show. So, yeah, let's get started on our games.
Let's start out with SEC games, just like real College Game Day does.
We're going to start with SEC, like you just said.
Yeah.
Alabama versus Tennessee.
I can't name a score, but I'm definitely choosing Bama by 3 touchdowns.
I've got the same thing as him. 18. Not 18. Like around 24-point game. If Bama played like they did last week against Arkansas, they can just completely blow out this Tennessee defense. So
would that be 2 weeks ago, actually?
No. If they play like they did against Arkansas,
Arkansas and Alabama was 2 weeks ago.
Yes, and then I'm talking about the A&M game last week. And like that 59-0 win, that was huge.
Trademark win.
So if they played like they did that week, it's no doubt that it's going to be a huge win. Not a huge one, like rank-wise, because even if they do win, they're probably going to stay in the same place. Anyway, moving on.
Not if Ole Miss, Mississippi State, one of those teams loses. So
yes, if Mississippi State or Ole Miss were to lose, Alabama could possibly be number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Because remember, Alabama is number 4 right now.
Florida State has a bye week, and they could possibly move up to number 1.
Mizzou versus Vanderbilt, both unranked teams. Mm-hmm. Missouri, I think...
Missouri with the huge win last week against Florida.
Yes, I honestly think Missouri kind of deserves to be ranked. They've been playing pretty good lately, but I don't know.
So what do you got on the score?